There it is.
Unmute what?
Sean was a little boy, he loved Cinderella.
And we're done.
Oh, do you want me to not? I'm wishing.
Woot.
Whoa, Sean, I'm just sliding. Look at me go.
No. That damn javelin. It's fucking
Reloading.
Oh, I wasted my. You know, timing on that sound.
There we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are live. Let me know if you can hear us okay, because I've been playing with the sounds today, so.
No one can hear anything we're saying. Just kidding.
What up, Petsky? She must be able to hear us because she said hi, so I think that's a win.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Volume sounds good.
Good.
Move this
Good.
over because you can't actually see it there. I just realized. Okay. Cool. Welcome in. It has been a minute since I've streamed at all. It's been 2 weeks today since we did an episode. Talked about Australia last time. You got to do that awesome presentation. If you guys missed it, make sure to check it out on our YouTube. What's up, Debo? Also, I want to quick give a shout out. Thank you for the subs to Debo and to MN Mom and to, or not MN Mom, to Pesky, excuse me. Thank you everybody for hanging out and popping in.
And nothing for MN Mom. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
And nothing for Glenn Coco. Or no, for Gretchen Wiener, sorry. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. I know there were 4 for Glenn Coco.
Yeah, Glenn Coco got lots of subs.
There were
Thanks
a
for the
lot
quack.
Glenn
Thanks for the quack. So let's start this off with, first of all, I'm in the lakes of Minnesota.
I'm in the hills of Tennessee.
We always say it at the end. I thought it was a good idea to maybe bring it up in the beginning this time for those who haven't been in here before. That's where we got the name from.
Minnesota beer.
Minnesota beer. I think I have more of your Nashville beers, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I finished them. I don't remember now. I got Yinglings.
Not cold anymore.
I got Yinglings, so I think that counts. That face you made was fantastic.
It's not cold.
I'm just gonna make a quick clip of that. Okay, cool. Anyway,
People are gonna think I don't like Castle Danger. I just don't. I want it to not be room temperature.
So how have your last 2 weeks been?
It doesn't feel like it's been 2 weeks. I feel like it went very fast.
It did go very fast for me as well.
It's been good. I started my job for the summer.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And wedding planning, but that's it.
Wedding planning, you got made any progress there or anything that's been a pain?
I definitely have stressed about it a lot.
That's,
so.
Stressing about it is progress.
We hit the Mom likes your background.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. It's kind of a subtle reference. I make it my background in work calls too.
I can't see it unless I open your stream.
It's just the talking head background from The Office.
Oh, I did see that before. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I have a new microphone arm, so I'm kind of adjusting as I go. I'm trying not to be annoying about it. Anyway.
You're playing with your new toy.
Playing with my new toy, exactly.
How have your last 2 weeks been?
Good. Like you said, it's been quick for me as well. Pesky was just gone for like 6 days, so I spent a lot of time just taking care of the dogs. Honestly, I didn't realize how much time that takes when there's only one of us.
Yeah.
It is a lot on your own, but no. But other than that, not a whole lot. Just kind of summer's here now, so it's warm. So I feel like I have to do something like outside, like lawn work and crap like that. So I spent the weekend popping up the camper because we haven't used it in like 2 years, and it's got some stuff we have to fix on it. So I popped it up to air it out and kind of take an assessment of the damages that need to be fixed and things of that nature. So
that's pretty awesome.
But it was progress for progress's sake, I guess. But it was fine. Nothing too crazy to report. Haven't streamed in a long time just because it's been tough to in and out all day long with the dogs. That's exactly right. But stream's been tough just because it's so nice outside. It's like I don't want to sit behind a computer all day, so it's trying to find a nice balance between getting outside and sticking to a streaming schedule has been a little bit of a struggle lately. So that's what I'm kind of working on recently.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get there. Always do.
Meanwhile, we'll be here every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday we will be here. That's the guaranteed day right now. And typically D&D Mondays is guaranteed, but the last 2 weeks we've canceled between people being out of town or people get sick or something. So we haven't done that in a while either. So
summertime, that starts to happen.
There's that too, yeah. But anyway, back to the task at hand. So today we're doing another draft. We decided we haven't done a draft in a while, so we're going to do one of those because those are fun. And we picked Pixar movies today. Now, I personally didn't do a lot of prep for this, unfortunately. I was setting up my stream stuff and ran out of time. So I'm going to be a little bit shooting from the hip, as they say.
Your heart.
I'm going to follow my heart, and I'm going to listen to my heart and decide. I don't remember the rest of that song. That's a song from something. I don't remember which. It's not a Disney movie. Or a Pixar movie, I mean.
There's You'll Be in My Heart.
No, I was thinking of... Is it Spirit? It might be a song from that Spirit movie.
Oh, very well could be.
Anyway.
I haven't watched
Anyway.
Spirit in so long.
I
That's a
haven't
good
either.
movie.
That's kind of
Not a Pixar movie. But a
No,
very
it's
good
not.
movie.
Right. I knew it wasn't from a Pixar movie, but you're okay. So yeah, Pesky told me this before. She said, "I'm very excited to judge what you pick."
I
And
have
that's-
some preconceived notions, and I'm going to write them down right now.
That's when I told her that I had not done any prep, so I will also be surprised with what comes out of my mouth today. Luckily, Katie did tell me about this list on Wikipedia that has every movie they've made, which you pointed out is a shorter list than you anticipated. So it's going to be an interesting.
It is.
Gonna be interesting.
I'm writing down some predictions I have for your draft, and I just want to write them down now so there's evidence that I had guesses about where you were going to go. I saw, this is a little bit unrelated, but before we dive in,
Okay.
It's funny that you brought up this idea because yesterday I was on TikTok and I saw a TikTok of a guy who was like, I found some website did like ranking the top 200 Disney songs from Disney movies.
Sure.
And it was a disaster. Like they put songs from a ride at Disney World in like the top 50, but they put You'll Make a Man Out of Me like in the bottom.
Okay.
I'll Make a Man Out of You.
I
not
know.
You'll Make
I
a
knew. No, that wasn't why I made that face. I did know
But
what you
no,
meant.
because-
That's weird that that's what happened. That's why I was making that face.
And there were some more hot takes, and if I remember them, I'll bring them up as we go. But it was the worst thing I've ever seen, quite
Oh,
honestly. And the only
Jesus, sorry
song
about
from
that.
Tangled was, what's the song? When Will My Life Begin? Which is fine. I mean, Tangled isn't known for its well, I like Tangled.
When Will My Life Begins not a bad one, but I really feel like they're sleeping on
Like,
I've Got a Dream.
you know what also is interesting? They don't give Flynn Rider a song. Do they?
He said he's in the I've Got a Dream one.
Yeah.
Like briefly, basically talking about how he doesn't sing. So I mean,
No, that's true. Maybe they do.
but
I
doesn't the
haven't seen
guy
it in
who
a while.
voiced
Maybe
him
it
like
does.
have a decent voice? So I feel like
Well,
or
he
no,
does
is that
'cause-
not a thing?
He sings in the duet too in the I See the Light
sequel. Oh no,
song.
in that one. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
But he's Chuck from Chuck.
That's true. He is.
But I don't know. Apparently he sings to some degree because
Well,
I wish I could remember more of that.
I saw him in an interview with the two guys from Supernatural, and they were at like Comic-Con together or something, and they were all sitting on a panel
That's
together.
funny.
I think they're in a different show together, or not both
Mhm.
of them. I think just Jensen is the one who was on the
Atkins.
panel
Yeah,
with
yeah,
him,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And at one point, he's like, "Yeah, my kid's favorite movie is Tangled." So he watches it over and over and over, or she watches over and over and over and over. And Zachary pipes up and he's like, "So you just hear my voice all the time?" He's like, "Yes, it's annoying."
If you could just stop talking right now, that would be excellent.
Yeah, exactly. Which is so
think it
true.
was-
Any generation has that movie where the kid watches over and over. And I learned that because I was at my friend Anton's house and he has a
Yeah.
young child, and he's been watching Encanto every moment of every day for the last
that's so
month.
funny.
Like we went out to dinner with them, and he had a little iPad and was watching it at the dinner table. Just like it's an
And
obsession.
that was Frozen for kids like right before this.
Exactly.
Because Kristen Bell, who voices Anna or whatever her name is in Frozen,
Right.
was pissed because her daughter wanted her to dress as Elsa for like Halloween stuff. And she was like, what the hell? You betrayed me.
Isn't Encanto a Pixar movie?
I thought it was, but I didn't see it on
It's
the
not on this
list.
list.
Let me look.
It's bizarre.
Let me look. Encanto.
Oh, god damn. Keep bumping this.
It's just Disney. It's not.
That's bizarre. I really
That
thought
is
that
really
was.
weird because it's the same vibe as like Coco,
It is.
and Coco is Pixar.
Right. Bizarre.
Very interesting.
Bizarre.
I don't understand how any of that works, to be honest with you.
No. No, I don't
Oh,
either.
Mom's triggered. What doesn't she like?
The end of Tangled, where she
I
cuts her
forgot
hair
about
off.
that.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
I was
Sorry.
trying to find that
Spoil-
dang video.
If you haven't watched Tangled by now, that was a spoiler. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Mom hates that.
It's true.
It's funny.
It's true. So we have to decide
Okay.
who goes first now. So I think I've done the flip a coin in the past. So if you want to do it this time, if you just want to Google flip
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna-
coin, I can call it if you'd like, and you can tell me if I won or not. I'll just take your word for it.
Oh, it's already
Honor
flipping.
system.
Don't flip already.
Oh,
Oh, I can
heads.
flip again. Okay. Hold on. I'm
said
gonna hit
heads.
flip again.
Heads.
Call it.
Heads.
It's tails. It was tails last time too, so I was like, if he's sticking to heads.
Tails never failed.
don't
but
wanna go
I had to try.
first.
I had to try heads.
I'm so stressed. I don't want to set the tone. Okay.
So isn't it? Should we make it that the winner gets to choose if they go first? Is that?
No, I'll just go first.
Okay? Go ahead. Yep, that's fine.
Okay. I'm really torn. I'm torn between picking my favorite and trying to pick one that I think you'll pick.
Okay.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's always the game with this.
It's
is that
always the
we're,
problem.
We're
Right?
not
I'm summarizing the entire.
We're not necessarily picking our favorites. We're trying to get the ones we want on our top 5 before the other one does.
Yeah.
There's so few options in this one, and on top of that, what I'll say is, with there being few options, also a lot of them are sequels, which you can't use more than one. Typically. Now, what I was going to ask,
I say we just use it.
I was just going to ask.
They're
Okay.
different.
All right. For this,
Because there's differing qualities.
for this
in the-
instance, we'll
yeah.
say the different sequel movies are separate items, and you can use them. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, I'm gonna make my decision.
Yep.
I just need to have this one on my team.
Okay.
And so I'm going to start with Inside Out
Inside Out. Okay.
as one of my favorites.
Oh, shit.
I just think it's so well
Forgot about
done.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's
And
a good
Dad
one.
cries every time Bing Bong dies.
On,
I'm just gonna call him out right now.
it's a good one. I don't know if I would have put it up near the top of mine.
It was just one I couldn't risk.
Yep.
And I didn't really know where
Yep.
you were gonna land on
Yep.
that one. So I needed to
I don't know where I'm gonna land on any of these, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with you, but I know certain ones that I think you're gonna pick, right?
Yeah. You think
and now
so?
you're like, well, what does she think?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I don't
pick?
actually
I
know
could
what
be
you think I'm
wrong.
gonna. Off topic, did you ever see Lightyear? Did you ever watch that one?
No, did you?
I did. Brittany and I watched it. It's on Disney Plus, so we went and watched it. It
Was it good?
was pretty good. It was better. I had low expectations for it.
Yeah.
Oh, before we keep going, the thing I said before we started, starting to say before we started streaming, you said, wait, save it for the podcast. I had started to say,
Oh, you were doing the
so
what if toy
basically,
yeah.
basically Pixar's method has been like, it started with, what if toys had feelings? And then it goes to what if bugs had feelings?
So
Then
true.
what if monsters had feelings? What if fish had feelings? What if superheroes had feelings? What if cars had feelings? What if mice had feelings? What if robots had feelings? What if old men had feelings? That's up.
It's funny.
What if Scottish people had feelings? That's brave.
True.
What if feelings had feelings? That's Inside Out.
That's where it gets
What if
meta.
dinosaurs had feelings? Let's see. What if that's basically it. And now that Elementals is coming out, it's like, what if Elements had feelings?
What if element? Yeah.
Because the rest is just like, they don't really go off that anymore. Like there's Coco, which doesn't really fit. That there's
guy did their
Onward.
early, yeah.
Onward, kind of, I guess.
It's a lot of humans now.
Right.
I guess Onward's not really humans, but like
I gotta see an updated
Coco,
Pixar.
Encanto.
Yeah, I gotta see an updated
Encanto's not
Pixar
Pixar.
theory. Have you heard the Pixar theory? Do you know what that is?
No.
There's a whole rabbit hole on YouTube you can go down, but basically it's a theory that every Pixar movie is related. They're all in the same universe.
Oh, yes. I
So-
do know this because you see things in other movies.
Right.
Like in Monsters Inc. and the kids' room is like the ball from Toy Story.
Right. And so it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
theory
yeah.
that makes them all connect. Like the theory talks about how obviously Wall-E is like way in the future, but is it? The thought process is, what if that is actually the past, and then the humans end up dying off and they become these monster people, which is what Monsters Inc. is. And Monsters Inc. isn't going into
That's
kids'
wild.
bedrooms, it's going into the past. and
That's
getting the energy
crazy.
that way. Like that's kind of what the theory is and things like that. So
That's so mad.
I can't talk to all aspects of it, but that's just the tip of the iceberg
Yeah.
as far as like
I
how
did
deep it
know that
goes.
they like put Easter eggs in their other movies. and
Right.
I don't know if they still do that really, but
So there is a timeline that people are trying to fit together, like Big and Large, which is the company that is the spaceship on Wall-E, is actually
Oh.
shows up in a bunch of other movies as well. So it's trying to
Yeah.
connect how that company made this entire thing happen and all that.
That's so funny.
yeah.
We're thinking about it way more than Pixar is, I guarantee you.
Oh, 100%. Right.
It's like when you're in school and they're like, why did F. Scott Fitzgerald make the light green in The Great Gatsby? And I'm like, girl, I guarantee you that he just picked a color, but I'm writing 10 pages on it. Like,
Well, and I think I've seen an Instagram post about that. It's like, he made the door blue because he was feeling depressed and the author's real intentions. It just looked
I
like a
looked
good
up
door.
and I saw a blue door,
door.
and now this door is blue.
So I made my door blue, yeah.
They're laughing at us.
That was such a thing in high school, was finding more meaning in writings, and half the
Yeah.
time I was just like, I feel like this is it's just there's nothing deeper to this.
There was, so we read The Invisible Man, I think it was. And
Yeah.
listen, not a bad book, but long. Like
Yeah.
long and dense. And that author, I guarantee you, was intentionally putting every metaphor she possibly could into that book. And so then we had to pick one and actually find every like example throughout this long book. Like the sun, what does the sun represent? So you have to go back through the whole book and find every reference to the sun and analyze it.
Odd.
It was so horrible.
And it was, I mean, it's just such a thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And well, the funny thing is, it's either that they didn't have a intention behind it, or if they did, half the time we're probably missing it entirely. You know, so it's like,
Yeah, that's true. Y'all are focusing on the wrong thing.
exactly. It's like I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately of people watching movies for the first time. So like today I was watching somebody watch Harry Potter for the first time. And it's funny to watch somebody like an adult who somehow went through their whole childhood not having seen it yet. And they just latch onto the weirdest things to think is going to mean something by the end, and it never does. Like there's just these random things. It's just very funny to see that.
I think if there's something different too, not even with the age, but also just binge watching instead of having to watch them over time.
Yep. That's hey, Cat Guy, thanks for the sub. It's gonna say that in a second.
Harry Potty, W-O-O-O-O.
Harry Potty, W-O-O-O-O. It's
funny, I didn't know it did that.
Yeah, it does the voice to text, the text to voice or whatever.
That's really funny.
W-O-O. I actually didn't realize he said Harry Potty until it read it out loud.
Oh, that's all he ever says. It's so...
Oh god.
I
Anyway.
don't even remember what I was gonna say.
Thank you for the sub though, Cat Guy. I appreciate it.
Oh, Cody watched them all as an adult, like after we were together.
Okay.
And he didn't really like the first few, which makes sense because they're not like
they're not meant
up
for
with you.
Right.
Like
right.
Yeah.
If you grew up, if you watch the movies as they came out, we're part of a generation that you can't relive that. Like that's something that's never. You can't watch them now and know what we were experiencing back then. It's just a whole different situation.
I'm interested to see what they do with the series now that they're working on.
Yep.
I think it's a cool opportunity to include more details from the books that didn't fit in the movies.
I'd say 9 times out of 10, I like a movie series based on a book, or I'm sorry, a TV series based on a book more than I like a movie based on a book, just because they have a chance to fit everything in it. Exactly. Like the, I believe it's called, it's like 11/22/63. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that TV show they did with James Franco was actually really good and was very all the Peeves content. Exactly, Pesky. You're probably gonna have all sorts of Peeves stuff for your channel after that show comes out.
I know, and it's
Hopefully.
gonna make sense now because Brittany as Peeves, not to spoiler alert, that's her name. Was always like off screen. That's how she got her name Peeves. But now she's on screen. She's streaming. And now if Peeves is in the show, she'll like track what Peeves is actually doing.
And Peeves is in the video game as well that just came out, the Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a big part of the video game too. So it's interesting how Pesky's like just kind of getting out there, and so is Peeves. So it kind of works.
That's hilarious.
It's very fitting for sure. For sure.
Something that I hope they do, and sorry, I know we're way off track now.
That's I'm used to.
The unique thing about the movies, I think, is it was a rare time when, like, other than Dumbledore, obviously, all the actors stayed with their characters over the years and grew with the characters. They didn't have any to do any recasting.
Right.
And so
Except for Dumbledore.
hopefully, well, yeah, except for
But the kids, but you're right, the
But
kids,
things happen.
like 90% of the kids from the first one are in the last one, which is just crazy.
I like the original Dumbledore better. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I actually just watched, this person I was watching was watching the third one, which is the first one with the new guy in it, which I don't remember names, you know me, but
Yeah.
it's I can appreciate the new guy only because the movies started to take a darker turn around that time. So I think
Yeah.
he portrayed the Dumbledore that needs to be portrayed in those movies well. I don't think we'll ever know how the original guy would have done it, but at the same time, he was such a soft and caring kind of guy, whereas Dumbledore does take a harder kind of a
Yeah,
character
that's
turn
true.
in the later movies or books. So at the same time, I think he was a good choice for that. We'll never
Yeah,
know
I
if
think
the original guy could have also made that change. I bet he could have, but we'll never know, obviously. But
I kind of think Dumbledore's trash by the end, to be honest. So
Well,
like that
yeah.
makes sense because I love him in the first movies. So
right, you kind of idolize, and again, that's why it's fitting
Yeah.
because you idolize him in the first couple movies, and then as the show goes on, he gets kind of like shittier and shittier, for
Yeah.
lack of a better way to put it.
no, it's
And
true.
so it's kind of fitting that it changes to an actor you're not 100% with. You're like, what? And then yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of fits well
That is
with
interesting.
how we feel about his character. Crab, that's what I was thinking of. Pesky
But
was
technically,
Crab was
wasn't he
definitely
a
recast.
different character in the like? There's
They
another
didn't-
character in the books that they claim he became.
I don't think he became another character. I think he was just generically another bully. They didn't. I don't know if they even
Yeah.
gave him a name that they said out loud. But
because he's black.
right. It's Crab and Goyle through most of the movies, and then right before the end, Crab, the guy who played Crab, went to jail. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, that's why he's not in it. Crab, the guy who played Crab actually went to prison, and that's why.
That's funny. That's
That's-
not funny.
That's why they change it. But instead of doing somebody like kind of similar, they just do this like skinny black guy, which is fine. But they weren't pretending that he was Crab still, as much as it looks like it because he's hanging out with Goyle. But
No, they make it kind of look like it, but at least like I would have preferred them do that where it's like clearly this is supposed to be a different guy.
right, and
Right.
they
Rather than pretending like this guy is still Crab.
well, I just don't think they even gave him a name. They just kind of pretended he was there the whole time. From they just
no.
acted like he was still there, like it just had been there, and that they didn't even acknowledge the Crab being gone. Which I don't think Crab was a big enough character to require them to say something about it.
Yeah, I mean people make jokes about it still.
Right. But I don't know.
I want to know what exactly.
What's
they
also
have.
funny is I've watched like 3 different people reacting to Harry Potter so far, and nobody says anything about that. About how he's just a whole different
Oh,
guy.
that's-
It
I
doesn't.
mean, it's not. There's so much other stuff happening.
Well, yeah, that's in the last movie. There is like they had to fit so much in those 2 movies. That book was like amazing. But anyway,
He plays Zabini, but nobody knows his name.
right? They never say that out loud. They made him a different character, and I don't think that character's in the books. I'd have to reread it to know for sure, but I don't think he is.
That's interesting. We're on like a whole other.
We're on a whole different. Yeah, we're not even on
Mm.
Pixar anymore. We're still on Disney.
No, I want to know if he was in the books. Huh. Well, anyway. Oh, we are in Disney. That weirds me out. I don't like that.
Well, that's the other problem I had with like, let's do a Disney. I originally
That
when I
gets
brought this up,
messy.
I was like, let's do a Disney draft. Well, when you Google Disney
Yeah.
movies, there's too many to pick from at that point
Star
because it's
Wars.
like right. That technically includes Star Wars. That includes Marvel. Technically, that includes.
yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it gets messy.
yeah.
So that's why I was like, let's go to
He's in the
Pixar.
books.
And then he is in the books. Okay, then I haven't read the books in a very long time, so that's
No, that's fine. I mean, I didn't know either, but
Yeah.
anyway.
all right. Anyway, I should make my pick. I haven't even
Sorry.
made my first pick
Anyway,
yet.
We've done one pick.
I'm gonna go with Tangled as my number 1 pick.
Is
I keep
that
bumping
Pixar?
my mic. I thought it was. Is it not? I really thought it was. I guess
don't
it's.
think it is.
You're right. It's not. I thought it was. Damn it.
I was gonna lose my mind if I missed Tangled.
keep bumping this fucking mic.
Oh. You trying to learn how to use it?
Well, it's in a bad spot. Oh, it's not a Pixar movie. You're right. Damn.
Thank goodness, because that was
However,
gonna make me
it
lose
was
it.
supervised by Pixar chiefs, but it's technically Disney.
I can give it to you.
Wait.
This is so messy.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
But
Are we sure?
that's interesting. So it's not Pixar, but it was it was managed by the people who run Pixar. That doesn't make any sense to me. But okay. Okay, never mind. I can't pick Tangled. So oh, and I made that typo. Now everyone's gonna laugh at me. Okay.
Interesting. Interesting.
Then that makes my decision harder.
I was about to end it all right here. I was like,
Tangled might be my favorite Disney movie, for the record.
it's so good. I probably would have picked it first if it was on here.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Coco. Coco's my number one.
Oh, I've never seen Coco.
Oh my gosh, you have to. It is the best. It is literally the
I'm not familiar
best.
with a lot of the newer Pixars. I'm so behind.
No, Coco is amazing. You need to watch it.
Is it? Okay. Have I?
Why'd mom say no?
I don't know. What's the no?
I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong.
Everything.
Usually. But too hard to read if I change that. No, that's
The ending
better.
of
Okay.
Tangled is not good. Okay, but the
Oh,
movie is
she's
good.
she's knowing that
One
we like
moment.
Tangled. Yeah.
It's like we pretend that the end of La La Land doesn't happen. Like it's
I've
all the
actually never
same.
seen La La Land, as long as we're talking about movies we've
That's-
never seen.
Problematic.
That's a red flag. Is that what you think?
That's a red flag.
That should be an episode talking about red flags. Even though
That's
neither of
true.
us are signal is what I said.
Cody has a lot of red flags.
But yeah,
His biggest red flag. Oh gosh. I'm not gonna remember. I'm not gonna remember the story that I want to tell, so it doesn't matter.
no, Coco's my number one because I could watch 100 times. It's fantastic. The music is fantastic. The story is fantastic. It's technically like a Halloween season movie as well, which is great.
Yeah.
It's great. His biggest red flag is green because he's colorblind.
That was really good. That was really a good one.
That's really
That's
good.
so
I
funny.
liked that a lot. That was good, Pesky. That was really good.
Before I give my second pick, this reminds me.
Yeah,
when
go.
We started doing drafts earlier on
This can't even see. Yeah,
with marshmallows.
I have no
In
idea.
his hot chocolate? I don't think there's any marshmallows in his hot chocolate. He's making hot chocolate in the middle of summer.
That's a red flag.
Anyway, that's a red flag without marshmallows.
That's it right there.
Apparently he's still listening. After we started doing drafts on the podcast, there was a guy from class. Oh, Coco with marshmallows.
Oh, nice.
That's
Nice.
the joke. Who had jumped in and watched our streams. And it was the first draft we did. He had started watching it. And I went into class and he was like, we don't talk that much, but he just goes, hey, I watched your stream. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I saw that. Thanks. And he was like, yeah, I was excited to see what you guys were picking. And I think it was top movies at that time.
Yeah, I think you're
And
right.
It was like, you guys have to move faster. I was trying to get new movies to watch and you guys just kept talking. And I was like, well,
It's a podcast.
So
You know,
he was just
I'm not-
like, I just
gonna-
needed to know the movie.
I'm not going to apologize for talking, but okay.
So I was like, next time I can just take a screenshot of the end results and send it to you. And he's like, that would actually be great if you.
I could
It was
could
really
post a
funny.
picture, like a screenshot of the stream
No,
and
they
post it in
can-
Discord. In Discord, then at least he has to join the Discord to see it.
That's true. That's so true.
Anyway. Oh Lord. Okay, so yeah, Coco. I'm proud of my number one pick, Coco. I'm happy
Okay.
with it. There's
I'm
no
gonna make my.
there's no
okay.
real music in your number one pick, which surprises me.
That's a really good point. I think I didn't know where you stood on it, so that's why I put it first because I was afraid that you might like
Yeah.
it enough to take.
It's good.
Because my second one has music.
Go ahead.
And my second one I'm choosing because it's one of my favorites. This might be my favorite Pixar movie. looking at what Pixar is. And because it's not
As your
Tangled.
number 2, it's your favorite.
Because I don't think you're gonna take this one.
Okay.
And this is why I was being very specific about allowing us to choose sequels. Because I don't want the whole series. I just want this one. I want Toy Story 2.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I think 2 is better than 1. Because Jesse's in it. And you get the song about.
See, and this is a whole debate in itself because sequels are great. Like, I would argue that Shrek 2 is in a lot of ways better than Shrek 1.
2 is good.
However,
Shrek 2 is good.
However, it's almost unfair to compare sequels to the original because the original is setting up character. It spends a lot of time setting up characters, creating a world that it walks so that the sequel can run, right?
I would argue that most of the sequels are worse.
Well, yes. So that's true. Sequels can sometimes go downhill. Like there's exceptions, obviously, Toy Story 2 and Shrek 2 being examples of that.
Yeah.
But my point still is, if the sequel seems better than the first one, that might be true, but you have to also remember how much time that the original had to spend giving you these characters to create a sequel. The original walks so that the sequel has a chance to run. Now, sometimes they trip and they don't run, but my point is, yes, 2 is better than 1 objectively, but at the same time, 1 is the reason 2 exists. Like, they created these characters that are good enough that we want to know more about them.
I wonder if I think as a general rule, most sequels are worse than the originals.
Yeah,
that's
I think
my experience.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I wonder if that's because a lot of times they go into the original not planning for a sequel, but then they just want money.
True.
Whereas, like, with Toy Story, I could see that they could have been setting it up to have a sequel.
Yeah, I think like any movie that plans on being a series of some kind is automatically more successful, rather than we made an original, it turned out really good, let's try to create another story out of this. Which, arguably, I don't think they planned a Shrek 2. I know they didn't plan a Shrek 2.
No, that's true.
And that's an exception to that situation. That's an exception.
Shrek 2. Even Shrek 3 is not bad.
I don't know if I've ever seen Shrek 3, honestly.
There's like 5.
I'll argue, or not argue, but not to get on a different tangent that's, again, not Pixar related. But I don't know if you know this about Shrek, but it came out around the same time as the Prince of Egypt. Do you remember that movie? So they both were DreamWorks movies, and Shrek had so many issues happening with it. First and foremost, that what's his name? Tommy Boy. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley was the original Shrek.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And he passed away after he had recorded all his lines. So then they re-recorded them all with Mike Myers. And so that movie was doing so bad and losing so much, like their budget kept getting blown away and things like that. Hey, Fang Benz, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for popping in. Sorry, that's a family of streamers that uses one streaming account, so it could be any of them. They're awesome. Make sure you go follow them. Pesky, can you give them a shout out for me? Anyway, what I was saying was, so Shrek was meant to be, what it turned into was a punishment. If you did something on Prince of Egypt that they didn't like, or you messed something up, they sent you to Shrek to work on, and they called it being Shreked, literally.
That's really funny because Prince of Egypt is...
It blew Prince of Egypt out of the water. It became like a cult classic, basically, and it is now still going. I mean, they just made Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, or whatever it's called.
Which actually looks kind of good.
My point is, like, they totally did not see that coming, and it was actually a punishment, and it might be one of my favorite movies of all time, so that's ironic. But anyway,
every time I took a marketing class, they always had stages of what a product is for a company, right? There would be news, and I don't remember the names of any of them except one. There was like new stuff on the market. There's stuff that is at its peak in the market, and then there's cash cows. Right. And Shrek was the cash cow. They just kept putting it out, and it kept making money.
That's the other problem, though, is that it was so good that they just kept they were wringing it dry at one point. Like, their sequels got really, really stretched. Now,
Oh yeah, I stopped watching after 3.
right now, arguably, I guess I don't know what the rating on Puss in Boots, the new Puss in Boots movie is, but the other sequels were bad. They were just bad. They were just like, we're still getting money out of this. Let's keep beating this dead horse.
Yeah.
But the funniest part about that is they just never expected to be anything. So everything they're getting out of it is just frosting at that point. You know what I mean? Like they've gotten more than they anticipated. So.
So funny. I also think like most of the time it's like Cars, I think, where they keep making them just because they can, and like none
There's
of them
that
are
too.
good. The original Cars is just Cars. It's good.
Yep.
But then they've got all the others.
Yep.
Whereas Toy Story 1 through 3 had a perfect arc.
It was a very good
Like
arc,
the
which I don't know
perfect-
if they planned that arc or not, being that the third one came out so much later than the others. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was planned that way or
I
not.
don't know, but if they were gonna do that third one, and I don't know why they did the fourth one. I don't ever want to see it. It doesn't exist in my brain.
You should see it. It's good, if anything, because they bring Bo Peep back.
Okay, well, if they were gonna bring her back, just bring her back in 3. I don't want this.
I know.
I don't want it now.
I understand you. I believe. I agree with that stance, but it is worth watching. I think they should have stopped at 3 as well. I don't like that they kept doing it,
It was the perfect ending.
but at the same time, it is definitely worth watching. It is good. It's better than I thought it was going to be, because I went into it. I'm like, I have to watch this, but it was, yeah. The best part about 3 with Toy Story was that it came out at such a time where, like, we were kids when the first one came out, and then we were going to college when the second came out. Like, literally, it came out a week after I graduated high school. Looking at the date right now.
Oh, the third one, you mean?
Third one. Is that what I said?
You said second, and I was
Oh,
like,
I meant third,
"That's-"
sorry.
No, it did, because we went. Do you remember we went and watched like a little marathon at the theater?
I
the
forgot
Toy
about that until
Stories.
you just brought that up. Yep, I
And
totally
was
forgot.
Like,
yep.
what are all these kids doing here? You haven't been through what we've been through.
So that was the other thing about 3 is that it just came out at a perfect time.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back on track here. My
sorry.
second, you're good. My second pick is gonna be. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
I feel like there's a lot for me that are like neck and neck. So it's like
I'm going with Ratatouille.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. You know, I was just thinking about that when I was looking at them earlier. I haven't seen that in forever. It's been a long time.
I'm literally looking at this so I can spell it right. I don't want people. Everybody
Yeah.
laughed at me. Everybody laughed at me last time we did one of these because I was typing everything wrong.
Well, you're trying to do multiple things at a time, but I'm still gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, I understand that. That's understandable.
What did you pick first? Coco. Yeah, that's just a good movie. I saw a TikTok today. You had never seen it, Mom?
That's the thing I
so
like about Disney
crazy to
Plus.
me.
That's the thing I like about Disney Plus is you can go watch all the old. You can watch any old Disney movie you want without needing to worry about where the
Mhm.
VHS tapes are.
Oh, you had seen it. You just rewatched it. I understand. That's what I was playing Dreamlight Valley earlier while I was looking at these conveniently, and I was like, Ratatouille. Haven't seen that one. And then I saw a TikTok. Ratatouille's just all around me today. I saw a TikTok where they like put it together where Adam Driver is in the restaurant that Remy is serving.
I just sent that to Brittany.
Oh, you might have sent it
I
to
might
me.
have
That's
sent it to
probably
you
where I
as
saw
well.
it.
Yeah.
But Ratatouille is just all around me. What a random idea. Who went into the writer's room and was like,
Hear me out.
hear me out?
You know what? I bet. So I follow this. I follow this YouTuber who does pitch meetings for movies. Like he acts.
Yeah.
He acts like what if this what this is what it looked like in the. I wonder if he did one on Ratatouille.
That would be so like
Pitch meetings. It's called.
Can cook. The rat goes under the hat and just drives.
No, he didn't do a Ratatouille one.
He should.
Yeah, he should.
We're giving him good content here.
Great content. No, you're right about that though. Like who? Hear me out. A rat that can cook, and the way. But how does he get away with that? Well, he controls a human. How does he do that?
I'm glad you asked.
I am so glad you asked. You know how when like people pull on your hair and your limbs move? No, I'm sorry. I don't.
Can't say I do.
I think you're alone in this one. Well, anyway, that's how he's gonna do it. All right.
You know, when people pull on your hair, your limbs
Yeah, Cat Guy, I think you're right. That was one of the best pitch meetings he's done. That's a good one about the new
I
Star
think-
Wars trilogy.
He has shown me a couple of those before.
There's some really good ones. There's some really, really good ones.
That's so funny.
And then that same guy does other videos like the first couple to have a baby, and like ever. And his wife walks out. She's holding a baby, and he's like, "What is that?" She's like, "It just came out of me." She's like, "Remember when
I thought I was fat?
remember when I got really bloated from that Mexican food? Yeah, it just came out of me,
It just came-
and it was a baby."
That's called a bowel movement.
They do all sorts of stuff like that.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Okay. This is where 3 through 5 it starts to get a little more tricky
Mm-hmm.
because I have some wants and I have some needs. You know, I'll save some honorable mentions.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo's good. Finding
Yeah.
Nemo's good. Oh, I gotta put it on there.
Oh, thanks, Ari. Great.
Oh, what's
news.
up, Ari?
Finding Nemo is just a classic. Like, it wasn't my number 1, but it's gotta be in the it's gotta be in the top 5. Plus, can confirm did not find 42 Wallaby Way. I think I might have mentioned that last week, but I thought.
What
I'd
about
bring it
P.
up again.
Sherman?
Didn't meet him. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Great guy. GG's. She's...
I did tell you this because I told you my friend thought P. Sherman was part of the.
We talked about it during the Australia episode.
okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, Pesky
water's
approves our
full.
choices so far. I'm gonna before we get on another tangent, I'm gonna move in and I'm gonna say, oh, I had one in my mind and then I lost it. I'm gonna say I'm going with Brave as my number 3.
That's a good one. I didn't expect you to.
I have to change my fit. Oh my god, stop it. Shaka, Jesus Christ.
My predictions are not doing well so far, just so we're clear.
I just really like
Brave, you like
Scottish
the Scottish.
accents.
I knew you were gonna
That's
say
all it is. That's literally, it's not deeper than that.
I think that's fair. I think I've only ever seen it like once or twice.
Hey, Caitlin, thank you for the sub. Thanks for hanging out.
You've never seen Brave, Ari? You should
Oh,
watch it.
Brave is a good one. Brave is a really good one.
It was really good.
She actually reminds me of you.
Triplets?
She reminds me of
Ari.
Ari, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ari, you have to watch that. You're basically the main chick, whatever her name is.
Ari's kind of a mix between Merida, the main girl, and her crazy little brothers. Somewhere in the middle is Ari.
You're right. Yep.
Sean, or
You'll
not
have to-
Sean, you're Sean.
You'll have to watch it to know.
Yeah.
Ari, you'll never know.
Cody, if you're
Merida,
listening, come fill
Merida.
my water. Merida, yes. Wow,
We're
here
getting
we
down
go.
there now. We're
It's
getting
not.
down there
She's
now.
like basically a Disney princess, Ari. It's a good thing. I know we are getting down there, and it's stressing me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I chose Finding Nemo. Okay.
I chose Brave, so it's your turn again.
Sorry, I made that sound.
There's some that I'm like, it has to be in my list, but I'm like, it's not up. It's not top.
Is it?
But
is
we're
it
in the
top
bottom
five?
2
Yeah.
now.
I know. It's getting for real.
I think it's weird that
gonna-
Brave is Pixar and Tangled isn't. Can we talk about that for a
I
second?
would agree with that.
That doesn't
I
make
think that is
any
strange.
sense to me. Like, how does that
Yeah.
happen?
Well, Ari, this is Pixar. We're living in here.
It's Pixar only.
You're a Pixar princess.
Yeah, you are in
Katie's
Bug's
never
Life.
Seen my favorite.
You are in Bug's Life.
What is your
Ari is.
favorite?
I think I know what Mom's favorite is.
Looks identical to Merida. That sounds adorable.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. Plus, she's probably got a thick, like, New Zealand accent too. That's
Oh,
fantastic.
so true.
That's fantastic. That's so great.
A beautiful butterfly.
It's
Okay.
an ongoing joke that Ari looks like the caterpillar from Bug's Life. That's why she said that.
But you are a beautiful butterfly. You do have that energy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
God, Bug's Life is a good one. I almost wish I had.
She will be.
I don't think that's gonna make my top, but it's so good.
It is so good. I think it's going to be an honorable mention for me. I'm just going to say it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's on here, but okay. I know what my last pick is going to be, so I really only have room for one more in my heart right now.
What if I pick your last one?
I don't think you will. That's why I'm saving it for the end.
Okay.
I'm torn between these two classics that I love, and I've just got to choose one. And this feels like a really big decision, but I'm going to choose Monsters, Inc.
I would have to tell you that was going to be my next one. So it was
No,
a good.
I'm so sorry.
That was a good call because I think I was almost sure that was going to be my next one because that's another classic.
We
that's a
watched
good one.
it a million times. Like,
yeah, I could probably
just
recite
based on the number of
I could probably recite that movie by heart.
Yeah, like
That's good.
2319.
Yeah, the 2319. That's a good one. It's quotable.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Now,
It's just
I
good.
enjoyed Monsters University, but I wouldn't call it an objectively good film.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But there's the plot hole.
See, now this. Okay, so first of all, explain the plot hole.
In Monsters Inc., the original, I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. I believe they say they met later in life. But then they make Monsters where they met in some.
Yeah. Yep, they did ruin that. I think it's a rare situation with Monsters University, with it being a prequel. I think it's a weird situation where you almost can't. You have to think of them as two separate movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because
that seems like a pretty big hole, though.
First of all, with the continuity errors, and second of all, it's just an entirely different movie. Like it has nothing to. Yeah. It has nothing. It's not even the same formula as the first one. You know what I mean? Like the formula in the first one is like they're these workers who have to do this one thing, and then suddenly they realize that everything they know is a lie, and da-da-da. Like that's nothing like what university is like. It's nothing like, it's completely different. Two friends, two people meeting who hate each other and then become friends. Like it's an entirely different movie trope. You know, it's
but I like a good prequel that is explaining how they got where they are. And so I struggle. Yeah. I think maybe I'm too emotionally invested in fictional monsters.
In the one throwaway line that ruins the whole thing.
Yeah. Listen, I'll believe that a tiny green monster with one eye can walk through a door and be a child's bedroom and create energy from their screams. Okay, I believe that. But you're telling me that all of a sudden they met in college? Explain it.
So if we're talking about continuity errors, can we talk about how Friends
riddled with them.
Is riddled with them. Like they didn't have a single person on staff that kept the continuity for that, because let's point out for the fact that they all have like 3 different meeting each other stories throughout the course of the show. She
walks in and it's like, Chandler, great to meet you, day one. And then they meet like 5 times.
Yeah, then they do flashbacks of like them in high school and college where they knew each other. And then like, what else was it? Oh, the episode where they all turn 30 or whatever. Like, that doesn't make sense either. Yeah.
Disastrous.
So my point is, continuity doesn't always mean it's bad.
No, I'm not saying. I just wanted to point out that like the entire origin of the prequel is based on a plot hole.
But like Doctor Who is another good example of that, where there's horrible plot holes in that show as well.
And they're just like,
you just got to kind of shrug it off and just move on. There's not a whole lot else you can do about it.
I said, I brought it up because I think it's a good movie.
Yeah. Yep.
I just struggle with that one core thing.
I get it. I do get it.
Right. And now you got to think of a new 4th one, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I'm going between a few of them. It comes down to, am I picking it because I like the movie more, or because it was like a staple, like it, you know what I mean? Like just because I've seen it 100 times and loved it as a kid doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite. Like, for instance, Soul is a newer one. I don't know if you saw that one. You were saying you haven't seen newer ones. Yeah. So that's the problem, is you don't have any of the newer ones, which some of them are really good. Like Turning Red was really good.
Was it good? I didn't hear much about that one.
Turning Red.
Soul was very good.
Turning Red I enjoyed a lot. Soul was really good. Onward was fantastic. Yeah. But I am going to go with Up as my number 4.
You had to.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to. That was one of my 2 main predictions.
I purposefully haven't talked about it at all because I didn't want you to steal it from
You don't want me to.
And
I
I
wouldn't
wasn't-
have done. I couldn't have done that to you.
and
That
I
would have
wasn't
been
ready
so
for
great.
it. I wasn't ready for it. Look.
Pesky's over here having a heart attack.
Look, it's a great flick, but there's a lot of good Pixar movies, and she's gonna be really mad at me after I say this, but
The word that you called it a flick, and that's not going to go over well. Later. I
Argue-
just want you to know.
she's mad. It's not my top
You can't base the draft numbers on where because it's all about people taking it.
here's-
You know,
Here's the problem. I was considering not even putting it in my top 5.
that's controversial.
She's gonna be really mad at me because I said that. Now
Because,
I'm gonna be
like,
sleeping on the couch tonight. But
It's objectively one of the better Pixar movies.
it's a great Pixar movie, but I don't know.
Do you want to sleep on the couch? My goodness.
Yeah, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
I think you had to put it in your top 5.
Well, just to sleep in my own bed tonight, I did. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's good. It's not one that I like want to go watch again. Everything else on my list until now, I would go watch it right now. I would go sit and watch. I would go downstairs and watch all 3 of my top 3 right now in a row. Up, I don't necessarily want to go watch it again. The beginning
Well, we've watched it so many times.
Well,
to
the
be
beginning
fair.
is so heartbreaking, which is beautiful, but it's not one that I want to go sit and watch. So I think up until now, I've been basing my decision off movies I've watched over and over, and I could still go watch again and enjoy it. Up is one of those where yes, it's good, and yes, there's funny parts to it, but it's such a heart-wrenching tale.
Heavy, yeah.
It's a heavy movie, right? So it's not like rewatchable as rewatchable as other ones.
But quality-wise, I would say.
It's fantastic. Yeah. But you could say that about almost
that's
any of
fair.
these is the problem. The problem you run into is
I think it's higher quality than a lot of them.
I disagree, and that's why it got so far low on my list and why I almost didn't even put it in there. Is I disagree with that opinion. I think it's equally good as almost any of these ones on the list right now.
That's bold. I would not
know.
put Up in
I know.
anywhere near Brave, just to
I
be
know.
honest with you.
I know,
But
and I am
respect your opinion. Your wife will not.
I am
but I will
happy with the lineup I have so far. The only
I'm
disappointment I
happy
have
for
so
you.
far is I think Up might be too high. Ironically.
Whew, I would like to get off the call immediately when the podcast ends. I'm not sticking around. Kevin is a girl. That's so true. See, that's like the dog in Up is so funny.
Yeah, you're right. It has great characters.
Oh, it's just so good. Anyway.
And I relate to the old guy more and more as I get older. Is the other problem, you know.
You remind me more of him as you
hmm
grow older.
I even wore
Doug.
those same glasses for a period. So.
That's true, actually.
And Pesky's a lot like
right.
the wife, even besides being dead.
The
but,
3 minutes of
yeah.
content you got of her.
Yeah. Well, we dressed as them for Halloween one year. I don't know if you know that. It wasn't Halloween. It was
Oh yeah. Was it not Halloween?
the Antlers did a Disney dance where you're all supposed to dress like Disney characters, and we dressed like the couple from Up when they were
remember that.
younger. Yeah, I probably got a picture somewhere. I'll post. I'm not saying it's a bad
Like,
movie. I love the movie.
lie.
I just don't think it's
Okay,
better than anything else we've said so
Pesky's
far.
just talking about how she loves it, so she needs this moment, I think, to feel better about this situation.
No, and I'm agreeing with her. It is a fantastic movie, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just think it's equal to everything else we've picked so far. That's all I'm saying.
Whew, okay. The controversy has begun.
And
1
you
hour
notice
in.
Cars isn't up here because I think Cars is worse than all of these. So
Cars is worse than Up. We can all agree on that.
there is one redeeming factor in every single one of these movies, almost, is the guy who is the voice in almost all of them.
Oh, Cliff.
Yeah, I can't remember his real name.
Yeah, he plays Cliff.
He's the redeeming
right?
quality in Cars because he plays the semi truck. I wish he had more
No.
screen time, or even just
And
a movie
Mater?
of his own.
Mater's amazing.
Mater's good. Yeah, Mater's good.
Listen, Cars is a good movie.
Yeah.
And I watched it a lot. But it's not going to make any of my lists ever.
No.
And then
No.
they just kept going.
Well, and
you
then
know?
the sequels get worse is the other problem.
Yep.
Cars was fine on its own. Like if they had left it
Cars was
alone, I
fine.
would think higher of it. I think the problem is it just got so much worse afterwards that it just gives me a bad taste in my mouth, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luca
For
is also
Shrek, you knew you were going to get that.
Luca is also a great Pixar movie that you probably haven't seen because it just came out a couple years ago. It's all Pesky and I watched that. That one's also very good. So
I'm going to make my last pick. and it's gonna surprise you because I said I don't watch new ones, but there is one that I have seen that you mentioned
I did mention it.
that I
Okay.
didn't want to say anything about because
Yeah.
I was gonna when you said it, I was like, shoot, he is gonna pick my last one, isn't he?
Okay.
I watched the trailer for this movie for months leading up to its release, and I said, that is quite possibly the stupidest movie I've ever heard of.
I think I already know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
Why? Why would you make that? And so somebody finally was like, let's watch it. And I was like, okay, it's dumb. I think I cried watching this movie. It was so good. And it's Onward.
Yeah, Onward was good. Onward was the one we watched it together.
Did we? Okay, I couldn't
So
remember. If we
so
watched it
here's what
together.
here's what
It was
happened.
you that was like, hey, let's watch it.
Here's what happened. I want you to talk more about why you like it, but before you do, I'll quickly
Yeah.
say the reason you watched it was the first movie that came out after COVID hit,
Mhm.
and so it was the first Disney movie to go directly to their streaming platform
Yes.
and didn't go to theaters at all. So what we did is like the day it came out or the day after, we did a virtual watch party of it. You guys were at home, mom and dad were at home, and we were at home. We all watched it simultaneously on like one of those watch parties, or maybe I shared it on Discord or something. But either way, I just remember we all sat and watched it together. That was the one movie. That was the first movie we had to watch after COVID.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. That you were the one that was like, hey, we should watch it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is gonna be so dumb. So Hood and I are just chilling at home, and I'm like, and not to spoil it for anybody, but listen, I'm gonna spoil it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm pretty sure Ari was with us when we watched it because she was super emotional about it as well.
The way it's so dumb. Like, why would you take your dad's legs around with you? It's stupid. Stupid concept. And so I was like, why would I watch this? But then he lets his brother go talk to him, even though he never got to know his dad. He lets his brother go.
That honestly bothered me a little bit.
No, I mean, it's not supposed to make you feel good. Like,
Yeah. I'll tell you, I almost put that on my list as well. Like I considered it.
it's so good.
But you
So,
have to watch
I made it on the
Soul
list.
because Soul is also very good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Okay. Round it out.
Mm-hmm. I'm already going to get yelled about Up, so at this point, it doesn't really matter what I pick.
Just follow your heart now.
There's really only two that are in the running, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, since I'm not making a pick, can I know what the two are? Or do you want to wait until you decide? You can wait till you decide. Like,
I'm gonna wait till
let
I
your
decide because if
emotions-
I bring it up, you're gonna try to push me one way or the other, or at least the audience
Yeah.
will.
No, that's true. I'll use my face, and I don't need to.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with Wally.
Okay.
Wally is my number 5.
I
Only-
am not surprised.
Only for the Wally and Eve connection.
What was the other one you were thinking of?
The Incredibles.
Oh my gosh, that's what I was torn in between in Monsters Inc. and The Incredibles. I was
Yep.
like, I like The Incredibles. Very good. But is it not good?
Incredibles. See, and I also making Pesky happy because I put it on there. I know it's one of Pesky's favorite. So I was torn between Wally and The Incredibles because The Incredibles is very good. It's a great movie, and I love any sort of like Incredibles bestable.
It's Cody's favorite. He loves The Incredible. When the second
It's a
one
great
came out,
movie.
he was-
And the sequel was arguably it lived up to it more than I thought it
It was
would
good.
for being one that came out so far after it,
It was not bad.
and definitely
I
was
don't
a
know that I'll watch it again. but-
definitely was a sequel that came out without being planned ahead of time, and they had to kind of come up with a story from it. And for being that
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Mhm.
it turned out better than I thought it would. I ended up picking Wally because the Wally and Eva. What I love about their relationship is that it's not necessarily like a love interest. They could be best friends. It's not like that. It's one of the only movies where it's a friendship that means the most about the plot of the show more than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know, I
have a
just like
hot
that.
take then. No, that's so good, and I think that that's a popular opinion. I have seen half of Wally because I fell asleep during
Oh.
it, and I never watched the rest, and I
Oh.
didn't like what I saw.
Oh, it's just so good.
I know it's such a hot take, but I wasn't vibing with the whole robot thing.
So I think what I need to
It just
do,
wasn't doing it for me.
what I've learned from this, based on the fact that you've never seen so many of these, is I think what
Okay, calm down.
I think what I need to do is have like a Pixar movie night in Discord, like weekly or bi-weekly, and we'll just go through all the movies. We'll just go one by
To
one.
be fair, can we skip Wally though? Because I saw half
Nope.
of it.
In
and
release
I wasn't
order,
interested.
we're gonna go through all of them.
I want to skip Wally because
We're not skipping any of them. We're watching every
He's
single
a
one.
robot. I don't care.
Which also means we're watching Cars 2 and 3, which so we're not skipping
No.
Wally.
I'd rather watch Cars 2.
What? I
Cars 2
can't.
isn't that bad. Because they go to Italy. I didn't mind it that much.
I disagree. I disagree with that. The fact that you would rather watch Cars 2 again than watch the end of Wally is way worse of a take than me thinking Up belongs lower than 4th on my list.
No, that's a hotter take. I do think it's interesting that neither of us put Toy Story 1. I guess I chose Toy Story 2, so that makes sense.
So here's the problem I ran into is I was forced to choose between movies that meant a lot to me or movies that I would rewatch again, like that I liked enough to rewatch again. And I ended up landing on the latter just because it's supposed to be best movies, not what mean the most to us movies, right? Because if we were going to pick movies that meant the most to me, I would have put Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 3 on this. Toy Story 2 is always good. You kind of stole that one from me. I would have put it on my list, I think, if you hadn't taken it. But 1 and 3 both meant a lot to me because, I mean, Toy Story is the original Pixar movie. I was I watched that one a lot when I was a kid, and Toy Story 2 was like that as well. And Toy Story 3 came out just the perfect timing, and that just meant a lot to me. Now, I wouldn't go watch it again, but it was great. It was a great movie.
I'd watch 1 again, but I wouldn't watch 3 again.
Right. And then there was another one like that. I don't remember what it was, but there's so many in here that I would.
A Bug's Life.
I don't know if I'd watch it again. Yeah, Bug's Life is great, but it's not one that I would put on my top.
Make my top 5, but come on.
Right.
Interesting question I have to pose for you, and I already know your answer, but I think it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
A Bug's Life versus Ants.
It's probably Ants. It's probably Bug's Life.
It's a Bug's Life, right?
Yeah. Ants
There's people that choose Ants, and that's a hot take.
Ants. I'm learning what your interpretation of hot take means.
It's an unpopular opinion. It's a bad opinion. That's what a hot take is.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
if I disagree with you, it's a hot take.
Okay, that's more what I was. That's more what I was getting at. Was it seems like if you disagree, it's a hot.
My opinions are the right ones.
Obviously, your opinion is the popular opinion. It doesn't matter about numbers. It's just the way.
I don't understand why you're laughing while you say it, though.
You're saying all the things I want you to say, but you seem to have a tone.
I can't take it seriously.
I'm catching some sarcasm. What was I gonna say? Oh, Ants was a good movie. I'm not gonna disagree with that. I did enjoy that movie as a kid. But here's the thing, I haven't watched that since I was a kid as well. That is one I have not seen since I was a child. So it would be interesting to rewatch it now and see what my take on it is.
I would hate it, but I want to do it.
You know what I think?
Imagine watching it as grown humans.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's so funny how you have such interpretations of things as a kid, and then you rewatch and you're like, that is nothing like I remember it.
Well, see, I think Bug's Life would hold up.
Bug's Life does, and I've actually watched Bug's Life recently because we watched it with Ari when she lived with us. So I've seen it recently, but Ants, I promise I haven't seen since I was a child. So that's the interesting.
Oh boy, do we want to ruin that memory?
Sorry, I thought I heard something. Well, right, exactly. That's the other thing. It's
so funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? This is so I do this every day, but I hate when I do it when we're live streaming. Movies that don't hold up. Oh my gosh, I remember. Okay, I rewatched Space Jam a couple years ago for the first time in a very long time.
The old one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna watch LeBron James.
I watched the LeBron James one, and I can understand why kids today would like it, but you can't compare it to the old one.
I mean, if I watched the Michael Jordan one for the first time as an adult, maybe I
Yep.
wouldn't like it.
Exactly. So
Mom and
go.
Dad, you tell us how you feel.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. What did you guys think of Space Jam when it came out? And we loved it, or I loved it.
I mean, I had Bill Murray, so
Okay, so what you were saying? Sorry, I kind of stepped in. Said you
No,
rewatched
you're
Space
fine.
Jam.
yeah, and it was very good still. I understand why I enjoyed it as a kid. No problem with that. The problem is I could have blinked and missed it. That is the world's shortest
Oh,
movie.
Exactly.
But as a kid, it felt like a full-length
Mhm,
feature film. I
Yep.
was like, that was so fast.
It's so great though. And I think
It is.
that actually makes it better because as a kid, I feel like these kids movies today are long. And how do they
Yeah.
keep the attention span for these like 2 hour plus
No.
kids movies? Like how do you do that? But
I
yes, you're
remember
right. That is a short movie. I do remember that about
Yeah.
it.
I was babysitting Pesky's little sister
Oh.
when she was a kid, and I took her to see Eclipse because she was kind of into the Twilight stuff. I mean, she's like 9, right?
Right.
And I'm like, let's go see Eclipse. Okay, so we go see Eclipse, and this poor little girl. I'm sitting back, and I'm like, I've already seen it, but I love this movie. It was like it was my favorite Twilight movie, I think. And I'm like, oh, let's go. And I look over, and this poor little girl sitting on the edge of the seat in the movie theater, bouncing. Like, can we go? Is this over? Like, she's
Yeah,
ready because it's too long for children.
Well, and she also is known for having a short attention span. She can't.
Yeah, very much.
She will beg me to play Monopoly. To this day, she'll beg me to play Monopoly, and we have never ever finished a game because
No,
she can't
normal
pay attention
attention
for
span
more than
people
2
can't.
rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just looked up the runtime for Space Jam, and it is an hour and 40, which is not that short.
That includes credits, though. Maybe I just felt like it was. I
The
don't
new
know.
Space Jam, for reference, is an hour 55, so it's only about
See, they
15
didn't
minutes.
need
It's
that extra
15 minutes
15
longer.
I
Yeah,
guarantee you.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it felt short. I tell you what.
I
Maybe
tell
because they
you
make
what.
movies so long. I tell you, they make movies so long now that it really felt quick.
Yeah, you're right. Today they make movies way longer than they used to.
And that does include the credits.
Right.
Just wanna say.
Does that
So
in the
probably more
runtime?
like
Is
an
that a
hour and a half.
thing? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, most kids movies I'd say back in the day were like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was pretty common. Like
If I rewatched any others, I'd probably feel the same way.
Like in fact, let's look at like Toy Story, for example.
I'm gonna look it up
Toy
on
Story is an hour and 17 minutes.
No way.
The original
Bug's
Toy
Life is
Story.
126. An hour
This-
26 for a Bug's Life.
The sequel to Toy Story, the second one, is an hour and 35. So both of those are shorter.
Wow. Dance is an hour and 23.
I think the
These
reason
are
it
short films.
I think the reason it feels so short, Space Jam at least, is that it never stops. Like there's never like a moment where
That's
they're like contemplating what to do next. It's always we have to do this, then this, then this, then this, and this, then we're done. Whereas with every other movie kind of like that, there's a whole they fill some time planning something or doing something.
Good
thought-
movie though. What?
But yeah, Beauty and the Beast is only an hour and 24. These old movies are short.
Yeah, they are.
Snow White was my favorite movie as a kid, and arguably one of my favorites still. Snow White's an hour and 23. So
I'm gonna
I don't
see
know.
what Frozen is.
that's a good
Hour
question.
42.
Yeah, so they're getting longer.
Getting a little longer. Frozen 2, an hour
It's not
43.
quite 2 hours. So that's the same
Interesting.
runtime as Space Jam, though. So it's like
That's true.
there's also no music in Space Jam, pretty much.
I think
like
that makes a difference.
no,
I mean,
there's very
obviously-
few montages. Kind of. There's one
No,
near
they're
the
playing
end.
basketball if music's playing. You know.
Right. That's such a great movie. I watched. The only reason I watched the new Space Jam is I was on a flight. I don't remember which trip it was on, but I watched Space Jam on a flight, and that's why I watched it.
That's a
Like
good
the new
length for a
one.
Flight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like we need to do like is there like a brand that makes all these kind of like the Looney Tunes ish? Like I'm trying to like a Cartoon Network ish, or like a Warner Brothers movies.
I don't know. We should
Somebody-
think about that.
Somebody posted on my Discords today asking about favorite musicals, so that made me think maybe we should do a musicals draft pick.
That's a really good idea.
The problem is I don't
We would
know
have
if I
some
know
crossover
enough.
and some not.
I don't know if I know enough musicals to make it competitive is the problem. Like I only have like 5 that I like.
But I feel like we have crossover.
Yeah,
So I feel like it
there's
could
some.
work.
There's some.
And it would at least get us to talk about it. So
Right. So that could be a draft in the future for sure. And I think today I also brought up like TV shows from our youth. Like I'm thinking like either like Nickelodeon shows or Cartoon Network shows or Disney shows or
Yeah.
all of them maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Nickelodeon, that would get competitive.
Yeah. Disney Channel shows we wouldn't cross over very much. I don't think
No,
we watched. We had a very wide like we had very different.
Those were very different. Plus, I watched the ones that were targeted towards young girls, and whereas Nickelodeon, like their cartoons, it was just like for everybody.
Well, and they had live action and cartoons, whereas
Yeah,
Disney only really had
just
live action. They didn't have a lot of cartoons like.
No,
And
they
then
really
there's-
aimed for like preteens.
And I don't think you even watched anything on Cartoon Network besides maybe the Powerpuff Girls.
I was forced to sometimes.
Yeah.
When you had on Ed, Ed and Eddie, I was furious. I
Oh,
was like, this is the
such a good
stupidest
show.
that's
Such
ever
a good
existed. I didn't mind Dexter's Lab so much.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, something
Anyway,
to think about.
Let
but
us know what you guys want to hear us.
yeah,
hear us fight
and
over.
go ahead and post in the Discord what your favorite Pixar movies. Tell us how wrong we were, or in the comments below, because this will be on YouTube as well. We stream this to both Twitch and YouTube. What's up, Nonsense? Thanks for hopping in. Here's the Discord for those who aren't part of it. If you want to pop in the Discord, post it there. Otherwise, if you want to comment on the YouTube and tell us what your favorite Pixar movies are, or give us ideas for what drafts to do in the future or things of that nature. Oh, your favorite was Soul, which didn't make the list.
So I had two main predictions. Sean picks Up and Sean picks Soul. I thought you were gonna pick Soul.
It's good, but not top 5 good. Like I think you should watch it, and you might disagree with me, but it's good.
I maybe attributed Mom's love for it to you.
Thank you, Pastor, for giving that shout out. I appreciate you.
Monsters Inc. Listen, he was gonna pick Monster Inc.
Monsters Inc. was going to be my number 4, but she was ahead of me.
Yeah, I took it.
Yeah. Yep.
We watched that one a lot.
Yep. We did.
Yeah.
I think they should have made a sequel to that instead of a prequel. I think I would have watched a sequel where.
I would have enjoyed that.
Now, granted, it'd be difficult because they had already figured out that laughter is better than screams, so they wouldn't be trying to scare kids anymore. So then, where does it go from there? Like,
They've thought of crazier things.
yeah, that's
They
true.
could have done it. Hey, you know what? There's still time.
There's still time, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird that
never saw
Moana's not
Moana.
a Pixar either. You haven't seen Moana? You have to watch Moana. Moana would be in
So
my top
Cody's
5
seen
if it was
Moana, and
Pixar.
Cody gives me crap because he's like, you don't want to watch Moana because there's no love interest in it. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, only a little bit.
I mean, it's about independence, really.
Yeah, and that's super great for her. I love that. That's fine, but I'm not that. I never watched it because I was like,
there is some bang and music in that movie too. You have to watch that.
I've heard the
Extra
music.
Lurk Moody.
Yeah, I've listened to the music.
Okay.
They're making a live action version.
Yeah, I mean, they probably already done a Moana on Ice or something. So every Disney princess movie, they do something like that.
I do. I love that journey for her. And you know what? I'd love that journey for me too. But do I want to watch it happen to someone else? Maybe not right now.
It's worth it's worth watching. It sounds like we need to have movie nights, Disney movie nights. Maybe not even just Pixar, just Disney in general movie nights in the Discord.
Can I tell you my hottest take before we end this?
Yeah. Yep.
The hottest take I have, and it's my take, and I'm calling it hot, so you know that it's an objective standard I'm going by. I don't like Mulan.
That doesn't. I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying it's bad. I enjoy it. But it's not like if we were doing a top like Disney, like classic Disney movies, it wouldn't make my top.
I think a lot of people would pick it, but wouldn't be me.
We should do like a Disney princess draft. That's what that would be.
That's true.
That'd be
That
good.
would be a good one.
and
Yeah.
she wouldn't be in
Got
my
it.
top for that.
No.
I'll tell you now. So I agree with that. That's another one where it's got some good music and some good characters, but overall, I could take it
Yeah.
or leave it. And it's not even that the movie's bad. There's just better ones out there for me. I don't hate it. I don't not like it. I disagree with you there. But
I don't like it, and that's fine.
what is it you don't like about it?
It just always bored me as a kid. I just wasn't really.
You're just bored with the
Yeah.
idea of this girl standing up for her family, and
Because she was like.
it's another
dressing up
story
as
of a girl finding
man
independence. I'm finding a. I'm finding a.
No, I love
I'm finding a
Pocahontas.
trend. I'm finding a trend.
She finds independence with.
Dude, Pocahontas is problematic.
white
Have you
man.
watched that recently?
No, I
That-
started talking and then I was like, this is
Pocahontas
not a
is-
good thing for me
We
to be
should
thrown
not
in.
discuss Pocahontas. It is
So,
problematic.
I was looking at TikToks that you ever just scroll.
So
through
is
your
Peter
own
Pan,
TikToks
by
and
the
be
way.
Like, am I funny?
Yeah.
on your own
Okay.
TikTok
Yeah.
account? Okay, so I did that the other day. It's like, you don't like Pocahontas? Well, that's because she's offended. Anyway, I was
Continue,
on my
please. Just push
I'm
through
on
that.
my TikTok account, and I found one where I was doing they do the brackets on TikTok.
Yep.
And it was
Just push through it.
Disney princes, okay? And you're like
Princes.
choosing your favorite princes. Yeah.
Got it.
And
The
I have
plural
a
of
very-
prince sounds so much like princess. I can.
I know, that's why I had to specify.
Multiple prince.
Mom's never painted with all the colors of the wind before.
You know, prince on
Anyway.
its own can be a plural word of print as well. So that's just super confusing.
Or an award-winning songwriter from Minnesota
Right.
also.
Right.
Anyway, I obviously the love of my life is Prince Eric. I would
Obvious.
choose- obviously,
Because all he did was
I
kiss
would-
a sleeping.
She wasn't sleeping. Prince Eric's from Little Mermaid.
No, I know, but he like found her on the beach and just kind of
Whatever. They had a connection. It doesn't matter.
without her
He's my favorite.
talking at all. So
I wasn't asking for opinions. I was just
okay, go
sharing.
ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, the problem is I'm doing my little bracket and he finally shows up. But they have the picture and the name. And they put the name John Smith on his picture.
Okay,
And I'm like, I'm gonna pick him.
you're gonna riot.
if they mean him, but I'm like, now I look like, and obviously he's at the end of my bracket, and I'm like, I swear it's not John Smith. I'm not picking the white man from Pocahontas. I promise. Oh my gosh, it was devastating.
Look, every Disney prince has some sort of issue.
That's true. But Eric is perfect and does nothing wrong except almost marry that other girl for a little bit.
And that's arguably why Shrek 2 is so good, is they have a character that's literally just called Prince Charming, just to lump them all into one prince, and it's
That is the
fantastic.
guy's name in Cinderella. They didn't
That's
even give
true.
him a real name.
That's true. Well, it's
But
not
yeah,
the
they
same
just
for
put-
Snow White. Isn't he just Prince Charming?
You make an excellent point. I have no idea if he has.
Hold
a
on,
name.
I'll look that up real fast.
Prince Philip is from Sleeping Beauty, I think. Gaston, the only perfect Disney character. So
The
true.
only
Dad's favorite.
What?
What?
So in
What's
the
his name?
movie, he's only referred to as the prince, but he does have a name.
I love the way they just completely what's the word? Erase men. in the Disney princess.
You love that? You love that?
Yeah, it's about time.
About damn time. His
It was
name,
given-
which
I got
is
tired of even giving him names.
his name, which is never mentioned in the movie, apparently, is Prince Ferdinand.
I wouldn't mention it in the movie either.
That is a terrible name. Gaston's not a prince, by the way. I'm not sure if you brought that up because you thought he was.
Dad, don't tell that to his face. Gaston won't like that.
Oh shoot! I just unplugged my. So wait, in that movie is Beast the prince?
Yeah,
But then who's the king?
Prince Adam, his dad.
But where's his
'Cause he was the
dad during the
prince.
prince,
Well,
the
they're dead.
Beast situation? So then he's the
They're
king.
dead.
So then he's king.
Oh, you make a really good point.
That's what I'm getting at.
actually. Hold on. I gotta Google this.
That's what I was trying to get
There
at. I'm
was
glad
no
you.
coronation.
I'm glad you
like,
followed me
need a
there, though.
coronation To I don't want
Not
the live
coronated.
action version.
Yeah,
And
Murph says
not
he's not
coronated.
coronated, so
That's what
sounds
I'm
like a
saying.
disease.
Uncoronated. Uncoordinated.
I just hate when we were coronated for 2 years because
Prince. What is the prince's name? Prince Adam.
you said he was Prince Adam, right? Yeah.
Well, that's true. Who are his parents? King, comma, queen.
I'm telling you, Beauty and Beast, hot take, worst Disney movie. They didn't even think out the prince's backstory. Terrible.
No, that is a hot take. His children.
I'm just trying to.
Prince Ben.
I'm just trying to piss off.
The Descendants is about the. Oh, that's.
I'm just
why
trying to
it's
piss
called
off Minnesota Mom
Descendants.
right now. Sorry.
Because the Descendants is about the descendants of the original.
Oh, that show or those movies that came out recently that we never watched. Isn't
They said
what's
he
her
has a
name?
son. I don't know.
Isn't Bella Thorne in one of those? Or am I too?
Probably.
Is she too old for that? There's some redhead in those that I didn't
I'm
like.
so intrigued now because they were like, he has a son, and I was like, where? And they said in the Descendants.
Got it. But
just
what
kept
about
like-
his parents, man? Why?
Well, listen, I'm working on it. Okay, I haven't found it yet.
Guaranteed they just
Pampered
add this all
Prince,
later because
Hideous
people were
Beast.
complaining that he didn't have any.
Why is the Beast not a king?
So as long as we're talking about parents, why do they kill off parents in almost every Disney movie?
Oh wow, somebody gave a really, really deep description. here.
Emotional damage.
That's perfect, Murph.
This is so interesting, actually. Well, they won't let me read it because I have to pay them.
It's
so hold
interesting
on.
to watch you read it.
He's the rightful heir, but he's not Catholic. He has the support of Parliament, and he has to be willing to sign the coronation oath and do the job.
So is there just
Interesting,
no king?
interesting. I guess not.
No king, la 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 la.
I don't know what that means.
It's from Lion King, man.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It's when it's that part. It's the leading up into the song, and he's the hyenas are like, or no, the Scar is like, "We need you to kill the
Oh.
king," and
Yeah,
he's like, "Kill
I
the
remember
king."
now.
Then there'll be no king, la la la, and then Scar says, "There will be a king," but you just said, and then he says, "I will be king."
Yeah, I remember this now. And him and Mom helped me by saying hyenas, so that was
What did I say?
you did say hyenas. I was just making fun of her.
I'm losing my mind here because I was like, did I say something else? What would I have said?
The hyenas did actually is what got my brain there though. So helpful.
Yeah, what a
Okay.
facade.
What if the first time I said it, I did say facade.
Dad says it
Mom
like
was
that all the time as a joke, but I can understand why you think that's how it's pronounced because he says it all the time.
Oh, is that how I learned it?
Probably. That's he says facade every time. I feel like every time I
Monarchical.
see him, he says facade in some form or another.
That is not a word that should come up that often.
It does.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's from something. I don't know what it's from.
Oh.
It's from Dad.
I don't know.
It's from Murph. Is what it's
That's
from.
the
That's-
movie of his life.
yeah, from the life story of Murph.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Do we
well,
have
that was
any-
fun.
Do we have any other honorable mentions to mention before we call it?
I feel pretty confident in my choices. I think Finding Dory has some merit, but it wasn't going to make it on the list. There
We've
was
talked
no
about
chance.
Almost every single series, at least. The Good Dinosaur never came up. Did you ever
I
watch that
never
one?
once-
I did
no.
not see that one either.
Yeah, I'm not like I've seen the commercials.
Yeah, we talked about just about every other movie on this list, so
Yeah,
in one shape or form.
I'm happy, you know.
Are you excited for the Elemental movie to come out? Which
No,
comes out in
I mean,
9
not
days.
No, no
comes
is
out
the
in
right
9 days.
answer. But I've only seen like a cover for it. I don't know anything about it.
The
I mean, it's the elements.
the only
having
thing
emotions.
the only thing I've taken from the few like bits of trailer I've seen is that the fire element and the water element like are a thing, but they can't be a thing because the fire will die if she touches the water. So
This is like 6 feet apart, but with elements.
true.
That was a good movie.
Didn't that have that one of the Sprouse brothers in
Cole
there?
Sprouse, the love of my he was the love of my life, but now he's kind of weird.
The one who played the bad Jughead.
All right, I'm not gonna listen to this Jughead slander.
Riverdale was trash. Don't get it. Don't.
Riverdale season 1 was great.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Every season after that, I
Oh,
wouldn't
boy.
know because I stopped watching it.
A hot take. Anything CW ever made besides Supernatural was trash.
That is a hot take because the Vampire Diaries was fantastic.
Nope.
That's ridiculous.
Nope.
You're wrong.
Bad.
I still don't have water because Cody didn't hear me ask for it. He wasn't listening to the
Is
podcast.
Is it in the
apparently.
podcast? Like, are we gonna find it early on? Look, we're almost done now.
The Vampire Diaries was so good.
I
and
tried.
then
I did.
Supernatural,
I'm not-
and then it got worse.
I'm not saying that because I know the idea behind it and I hate it. I tried to watch it and I couldn't.
You did watch it. Don't lie.
I watched a chunk of it
Watched-
and stopped because I did not like it.
I heard the originals was even better than it, but I didn't watch the originals. But then everything else they did was bad, except Legacies because I know a guy that was on that. So support.
So it was bad, but you're gonna.
No, I heard it was really good because he was in it.
So what I'm translating that to, it was bad, but you're not gonna admit that because you know the guy and you want to
He's
support him.
fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Played Thomas Jefferson.
You can like a
and Marquis de
character.
Lafayette in Hamilton in Chicago.
So you can like a character and hate a show. That is a thing.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna slander him like that.
I'm
He's in
ignoring.
another show now.
I'm ignoring Minnesota Mom's comment because it's gonna bring up a
You
fight.
watched all
gonna-
of Revenge.
It's gonna bring up a fight in my house.
No.
It's gonna bring up a fight in my household.
Wait, you didn't watch Revenge?
I'm not talking about it.
Because you were supposed to, but you never
I'm
did.
not gonna
That's what happened,
I'm not
right?
gonna talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's a good
Okay,
show. And
Okay.
if we're talking about shows that are so bad that they're good, that's it.
I can't. No. I'm definitely not watching it then. I'm definitely not watching it then. If you're telling me that I have to watch it because it's so bad it's good, I'm not watching it.
Like, it's just so dramatic in the most ridiculous way. You know what's a good show that's dramatic in the best way, so it's always good, is Jane the Virgin. You should watch Jane the Virgin.
I did start that and I didn't hate it. I just got distracted with other stuff.
Oh, man.
So here's the
But I will
backstory.
say-
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
give
Yeah, give the backstory.
I'm gonna give the backstory behind that really quickly. Basically, the agreement that Pesky / Brittany and I made. What? Can you hear the empty space?
I quote that all the time, and no one ever knows what it's from.
That's from Holes. For those
Can
at
you hear
home.
the empty space.
That's from Holes. Okay, anyway. I made an
Go ahead.
agreement with Pesky that if she watched a certain amount of Tarantino movies, which I don't remember what it was, I want to say it was like 4,
The best amount of Tarantino movies.
I would
is
watch
0.
Revenge. Like, I think for every one movie she watched of Tarantino, I would watch like 4 episodes of Revenge or something like that. We made some sort of agreement like that. And she watched 1 Tarantino movie, and then I watched none of Revenge. So
That's just disrespectful.
she watched Pulp Fiction and hated it, and then we never watched another one.
She should watch. I didn't like it, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was.
I want to see
bearable.
that really bad.
I did watch it. It was longer than it needed to be. She watched 2.
Okay, what
I
was the
wanna know what
second?
The second one
That's
was.
what I was just gonna ask. What's the second one? Oh, you watched 4 Rooms. Yeah, that's not I mean, I love that one, but I can understand why you didn't like it.
I mean, if you're gonna watch one, I guess Pulp Fiction is the most
Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
relevant. I saw the end. Walked in on Cody
What?
watching it.
What?
But I see it in pop culture all the time. I imagine it's good to know.
Pulp Fiction is in pulp culture. You're right about that.
What?
Pulp Fiction is in. Oh wait, never mind. I don't know what I said.
Pulp Fiction is in pulp culture.
That's
not
what I
you
said.
but
That's what
my
I.
brain
That's
wanted
what I
to
was
hear you
trying
say.
to say, and then I realized it's not the same word. Ignore what I said. We'll pretend that. We'll pretend that didn't happen.
That's funny.
Anyway, well, on that note,
Revenge is so good. Now I want to rewatch it. Cody.
you said it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's good.
And like the main 2 people are actually married in real life.
I don't. Oh, sorry, my stream.
If you're gonna say I don't care, I'm gonna hang up right now.
I wasn't gonna, but now I really want to. I don't know, man. Maybe one day.
You're not gonna watch it. Shut up.
You're right.
The other CW shows are bad though. Just to loop it back around.
So wait, so I said every CW is bad but Supernatural. So you're saying every CW is bad except for what?
Vampire Diaries and Supernatural.
Okay.
And Legacies. Because I know a guy.
And Legacy, that one episode that he was in?
No, he was a regular. He was on the cast.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was just in one episode, like
No,
like
he
a,
was,
like a
on the
background
show.
character or something.
No, he's in a different musical now, so it's
Like-
okay. But
Like we know, like how we know a guy that was in the background episode of one of the How I Met Your Mother episodes.
I slow down and I always slow down on the wrong
yep.
episode because there's 2 episodes where they have the bar in their house. So I'm like the first episode comes on and I'm like locked in the whole time and he never shows up and I'm like, damn. And the next episode comes and I'm like, there he is.
Well, I always mess up and do it at the funeral scene because I remember that he told us that he originally, I don't know if you remember this part.
I don't
He
remember this.
originally, he was living in California and they had a casting call for people who had Vikings merch, like clothes. They wanted
that
people who
one.
already had Vikings jerseys because in that same episode, it's
They go to the
premised by him
cemetery.
telling a story to his dad at the cemetery wearing like watching Vikings game with a bunch of his friends. So
Yeah.
he went there originally to be in that scene and then they didn't need him for that and they put him in the puzzle scene instead. But I forget
did
about
not
that
remember
last
that.
part. So when I'm watching it, I pause it at the cemetery with all those Vikings jerseys and then I remember, no wait, it's the puzzles scene. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That would have been his dream. That's so sad.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the only reason he got in the first place was he owned a Vikings jersey
Yeah. Yeah.
in California, which is hard to find apparently.
Apparently not. They didn't need him.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true. But the fact they had to specify in the casting call, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man is right.
Well, this was fun.
It was fun. It's good.
Well, let us know what you guys want to hear from us.
Yeah,
in the
make sure to
next
comment on
episode.
YouTube or post in the Discord or any of our social medias. Mine are. Oh, what is that? Okay.
I'm scared.
I don't click on links. There's all my socials if you want to just ping me on social media and say, hey, oh, wait, why are you pointing this out? I've seen this. That's Identity? I've seen that. Oh, Murph sent that. I thought Pesky sent that. You guys' names are the same color.
No.
No, they're not. Pesky used to be purple. I thought
It
that
is
was
Murph,
Pesky.
so,
My
yeah.
bad. I have definitely seen
I
that.
thought you'd want to see it. Yeah.
I have definitely seen that and it's fantastic. Anyway, unrelated. Fantastic movie. Anyway, sorry, I was looking for somebody to rate out to. Yeah, so make sure to post on social medias or in Discord or wherever suggestions for episodes we should do or drafts we should do or whatever. And we will read through them. Also, if you want to send questions, like if you just want to do like a Q&A, we've been looking for that kind of content as well. So feel free to send us questions you want us to answer and we can just go through those as well.
Yeah.
Our next episode of this podcast will be June 21st,
Yeah. Yep.
probably.
Good math.
I was just looking at the calendar, so I didn't even do the math. I will be live Friday afternoon for sure. And then Monday and next Wednesday we'll do something else. So those are my usual
Awesome.
days. So
And I'll be here
stay
in 2
tuned for
weeks.
those. And you'll be here in 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Katie, once again for doing another episode. This was fun. Thank you everybody
Thank
for hanging
you.
out. Thank you for all the subscribers and whatnot. I appreciate you guys so much for the support. This helps me keep doing this and having fun with you all. So I appreciate you greatly. I'm gonna find somebody to rate out to in a moment here. So we'll go to the credit scene, and so hang out and make sure to pass on the love to the person we rate out to. Tom, I said hi with these raid messages that I have here that I will post in a moment. Yeah, everybody have a great night, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye,
All right,
guys.
Bye, guys.